welcome back to the Live with Grace podcast. Today, I'm on the show with MJ and Mr. T, the owners and founders of Delish Nutrition, which, if you follow my Instagram, I know you've heard plenty about Delish and all that they have to offer to the South Georgia area. But today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about why nutrition and fitness are important parts of achieving life goals. And we're going to be learning a bit more about their journey to starting their business and learning about their background and their fitness journeys as well. So to start, would you guys mind telling us a bit about yourselves?
Go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Mr. T. I'm from Southwest Florida, born and raised. Been living up in this area for we've been here about a year now.
Yes, this summer will be a year.
Yeah, so I've been here for a year. Love long walks on the beach, quiet. I'm 38 years old. Just recently got into like the whole nutritional fitness thing, and just trying to just keep it going and be better at it every day.
Cool, awesome. I'm MJ. I'm looking over here. Looking at you.
Yeah, no, we can look at there.
Okay.
Look at it. It doesn't.
My name's MJ. I am also from South Florida. We're from an itty bitty town called Immokalee. I've been living in Tampa for the past 10 years. And I would say that's probably when I got more introduced into like health. There's health stuff everywhere in Tampa. And yeah, we've, like Mr. T said, we've been here for about a year, and we are just excited to bring health and fitness to the community. There's not, too many healthy options out here.
Yeah, when I first heard of your guys' place, it was the only really smoothie bowl place that I've heard of since being in Valdosta. So I was super pumped because, first of all, about just trying the food, but then to be able to partner with you guys has been like really cool. And everyone that I've told is like, oh, smoothie bowls.
I know.
Because, we have tropical smoothie, which most places have, but that's about it. We have frozen yogurt, ice cream.
Right.
That's everything. There might be a couple other places that do like acai bowls, but not really anything close to what you guys have here. So I appreciate you guys coming on today and sharing that. And Florida people, unite. But to start, we're going to talk about your journey to opening Delish Nutrition specifically. And so my first question for you is which you guys touched on a little bit, but what was kind of that thing that made you say, okay, I want to get into the health and fitness industry?
So I am actually a type 1 diabetic. Okay. I've been a diabetic since 8th grade, and I am now 33. So all throughout my, diabetic journey, doctors have always told me that I could have, as much protein as I want, and to just try to stay away from carbs. And over years, I realized that was like the wrong information.
Oh, wow.
So I found an endocrinologist maybe about 4 years ago, living in Tampa, and he introduced a plant-based diet to me. And I literally cried leaving the office because I was just like, what? No cheese, no bacon? Like, it was so sad. All the good stuff. So I had to, do my own research and realize that you can still have, you can still eat good and still have good stuff. And it doesn't have to be animal based, or it doesn't have to be, just what you grew up on.
Right.
So I think that's what kind of kickstart my health journey. When that doctor suggested a plant-based diet, I started watching more documentaries. We started watching them together, and we were just amazed at how people could reverse diseases and all kinds of stuff by just using food as medicine and just switching up, the things that we grew up eating.
Right.
So did you end up doing the plant-based diet, or?
So I did start off doing plant-based. I wasn't 100%. I would go to parties and they have Publix chicken wings, and I'll have a chicken wing here and there. I tried a lot, not to buy meat and stuff. And And I felt like I wasn't doing all that great until I went back to my doctor and he was like, man, you've been doing a great job. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to go like full force, 100% plant-based, vegan. So honestly, I just try to eliminate meat when I can. But I'm not like die hard looking at all the ingredients, to see what's in there or whatever. Just making,
when it comes to it. And that's the same thing with me, like my eating habits. I've grown up eating like straight fast food all day, every day, sweets and all that good stuff. So when I jumped into the fitness and nutrition, I noticed that you can still eat this stuff, but you don't have to eat it every day all the time.
Right.
You can make it like a reward or something, at the end of the week. Or, but you also can make healthy eating good and fun. Like you can make a healthy hamburger. You can make a healthy pizza, healthy spaghetti and stuff like that. So that's something that she's helped me big time when it comes to stuff like that. So
I remember we went a whole week not eating meat and he didn't even realize.
I didn't even
Oh, wow. You were keeping track?
No, I purposely tried not to buy meat and stuff and had specific recipes for each days and stuff. But yeah, he after a week and he was like, damn, we haven't eaten any meat. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Everything still tastes normal.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, that was nice. It was a good feeling to know, you can still have good stuff.
And you guys here have made it that healthy food is not only, we can make this option, but you actually crave having something good.
Something sweet.
You can feel good about it.
Feeling, and it makes your body feel good afterwards. And cool thing about fitness and healthy. A healthier lifestyle. It don't have to be boring.
Yeah,
it don't have to just be salads.
What you used to eat before when you were trying to be healthy?
I would just boil like broccoli, some carrots, and some boiled eggs, and I would think that was a healthy meal. And then when I started educating myself on it more, then I noticed that you can have fun with it. I can make a nice smoothie. I can make
you an acai bowl. Yeah, you make cauliflower. We made buffalo cauliflower.
Tastes like chicken nuggets.
Different.
I need to try that. I think I've seen a recipe for it before.
Look, I've made tater tots out of broccoli, like broccoli tots, and I use ketchup, and it tastes like a tater tot.
Wow, I really want to make those now.
So this type of stuff we try to school like our family and friends on, and just different people.
Gotcha. And to your point, there's definitely a lot to be said too for the nutrition that's already in plants and in, I guess just plants, but all the vegetables, all the fruits and stuff, and all the stuff that they provide that you can get from animal-based protein, but also you can get from plant-based protein.
Yes.
So I've kind of debated back and forth with the option of veganism before, but it's just really hard to get the same energy from not.
Yes.
For some people at least,
you really have to.
You have to eat a lot of broccoli to get the same protein as you get from eating a piece of chicken.
I agree. You really have to do your research. When you're trying to transition into that lifestyle, you have to plan ahead. You have to find out, what are the higher sources, what food have higher sources of protein and fiber and stuff like that versus when you read the packages in stores, it already has all that information for you. So yeah, I feel like definitely planning for it. It's definitely possible. You just have to plan for it and be open-minded. Yeah. There's some things I've never had growing up, like quinoa. It's a rich source of fiber and I've never had it, never even heard of it. So you really have to do your own research and be open-minded.
Yeah. It's definitely also your upbringing because my mom would make my mom made quinoa and stuff when I was in high school sometimes. So that's really how I started liking it. But had she not been a pretty healthy cooker growing up too, maybe I wouldn't have ever been exposed. I've exposed my friends to so many different foods. Just
what you grew up on.
Yeah. One of my friends is super picky and she didn't like so many things, but then after I made them, she's like, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
And kind of, how do you guys start, with each of your journeys into fitness? How did that kind of combine together? And how did you guys have the idea and the philosophy behind Ish Delish?
We started out by just holding each other accountable. Like, let's try to work out a little more. And then when we got to, being in the same space, it's kind of like we started both living that same lifestyle. We just encouraged, each other.
And I remember one night we were just having a conversation, and I was just like, "Hey, what do you think this type of name would? How does name sound? Ish Delish." And she was like, "Oh, it flows, like Ashpagash type. Like it's catchy, it flows." And I was like, "Well, okay, well, what do you think about that for like a restaurant name, like a cafe?" But we didn't think about nutrition. So she's like, "Yeah, that'd be pretty cool." And then eventually we started talking about opening a nutrition shop. She was already working part-time at a nutrition shop in Tampa.
Okay.
So we started talking about opening our own. So we were like, okay, we'll use that name. And then the planning just started coming from there.
So it started with the name.
It started with the name, just the idea of a name.
Yeah, and then I guess that accountability that you guys started with is still something you guys do with the clients that you have.
Yes.
Probably so with each other.
I love creating stuff too. I love, I was teaching before. I feel like I'm really artsy. So I feel like that kind of like bleeds over into nutrition. I love creating new things. I like to make things pretty. So he is the one who, recognized that and just encouraged me like, man, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like he's the one who helped me to see that aspect of me, and that strength. And it was just like, wow, you can really do some things. Like, you make this stuff and it looks good and it tastes good. Like, I'm sure other people, I love this stuff. So I'm sure, other people, would love it too.
Yeah,
because the presentation's always been on point. Like, damn, this look real good. I'm like, this tastes.
From any food or specifically
From
like
any
smoothies?
Yeah, from any food.
Majority of any food that she cooks.
I'll make sandwiches and throw salt and pepper and garlic on there and stuff.
The presentation will be A1. Like,
yeah, I like to make things look nice and taste good. So it
That's
kind of
definitely a talent. But it's cool because cooking is definitely a very creative.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of the word, like field. Or,
yes.
Similar to how sports can be creative.
Yeah.
A lot of different things, like anything where you really have openness to make your own decisions. Even this podcast, I love it because I can just do whatever I want.
Right.
And so that's really cool. And then you think about the future. Well, what are we gonna have? What are you guys gonna have next year by now? Like all the cool smoothies and ideas you might have, or things you might get better at from where you are right now. So that's really cool. So with all that, what were some of the challenges that you guys faced with opening a business and forming the brand behind it?
Some of the challenges I feel like was just like the basic stuff that would like happen along the way. Like, we had a situation that happened inside of here where the floors ended up flooding.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Last minute type thing before we opened, and that kind of gave us a little setback. Electrical problems last minute, so stuff like that is just like popping out of nowhere. And we kind of had a feel and a preparation for it that things like this was going to happen.
More so him.
but when it happens, you still feel like, oh, come on, like,
man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but in a time like that, it was just like important for me to keep her like built up and keep her level-headed and stuff like that. So.
Because at the end of the day, it was gonna open eventually.
Yes. I would say also like just transitioning from being in like corporate world and going from that to being business owners to us, running everything and managing everything. And we run it and manage it as if, we've had businesses before. So I feel like every day it's a learning process. Like when you asked earlier about the inventory, like, did you already know like how your inventory would be set up, and just transitioning from having, little notes on your phone to having a set, list of here's everything we're going to grab. But yeah, just the whole process and switching states too. Like there are different, I guess, rules and regulations when it comes to health and things, that we didn't have to follow in Florida, because I worked in a nutrition club part-time, And there are a lot of things that we didn't do there that we have to do here, and certain like health department requirements and stuff that we had to go through and stuff that we necessarily didn't have to do back there. So switching states, I say would also be, you know, something that was a bit of a challenge for us.
Also, just to add on to that is the planning. We planned like crazy before coming. We were driving back and forth like twice, 3 times a month.
Yeah.
Before coming up, and we was doing this for like 6-7 months straight.
Before we actually opened.
It's not a super long drive, but it's not quick.
Bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's about a 3-hour drive. We're driving from Tampa.
It wasn't bad, but it's just that like her schedule was busy being a teacher. My schedule didn't, so we're having to plan everything just for that weekend, and you know, so
like what things we need to bring or have ready.
There'd be some days where we couldn't find a rental car.
Right.
You know, cars would be sold out, so we're like, okay, we have to put our car on the road, and we have to try to pack it as much as we can, and you know, so
bring as much stuff as we can.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, do you guys find that the past careers or the past places that you lived, you take some of those like lessons or things that you learned from those places to this business now, like being a teacher or you know, like working in other professions?
Absolutely. I actually served during COVID. I served in the marketing ministry at church. I had never done marketing, didn't know what content was, didn't know there was a word for, you know, the stuff you post on social media. Now I know that it's called content. And I served in the marketing ministry for a while, and now I do a lot of the marketing for Ish, and I feel like God was just, you know, setting me up to do this for our business. So definitely a lot that I learned when I served in the marketing ministry, I use now in our business. I went from teaching kids to basically teaching adults, because I don't really have too many kids that come in here and need nutrition consultations and stuff. It's a lot of adults that just need some guidance and don't know where to start. So I definitely have been able to use that, you know, now. And Mr. Neat Freak, you've been able to do that too with your organization skills and stuff. He keeps his place like immaculate.
Yeah, it always looks super cool. I'm sure you guys can tell from the video. It's super vibrant in here, and like it's all goes with the aesthetic of the food, you know. But I read this quote actually today on Twitter about sometimes how it's crazy that you don't see the reasoning for things or like the lessons that you might need from those things until years down the line. Or,
and that's when it makes sense.
Or even like generations sometimes, like your kids or like your, you know, things that my parents and my grandparents did, like the effects weren't until my generation. But that's cool because I kind of feel the same way sometimes, like with if I got hurt and I learned a certain skill and then now I'm using it for this or that, it's definitely really cool. So those are it's nice that you guys have different things that you're really good at that you can bring together too.
That was definitely a learning process too, learning that we have different strengths and you know, we use those to our benefits versus like you're not doing this and you're doing too much of this, and we kind of balance each other out. Right. Yes, the things that he's, you know, really good at, I'm not that great at. And there's some vice versa. There's some things that I'm really good at, which he is not, maybe necessarily not good at, but maybe not as comfortable.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Like the inventory and stuff.
Yeah. Things I would need, like I would just come up with certain ideas, but I would need like some structure behind it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
like you have the vision, and then you have
and she has the structure of putting
planning
it all
part.
So that's how it pretty much works with our relationship. So I would just pop out of nowhere like, babe, what do you think about this idea right here? And she's like, okay, that's good. And then she would just come with a layout of something and how to put it
and make it tangible.
Correct.
Kind of.
And it all makes sense. So
because you were saying that sometimes he sees the vision that you didn't see. Like, oh, you have a talent for this, or I see this. And then, so it's cool that you guys can kind of work together.
Yes.
So we just finished talking about some of the challenges that you guys faced with opening Ish Delish, but what were some of the rewards that you guys encountered from that experience?
We mentioned earlier how there's nothing not too many healthy options, that has definitely been rewarding to have so many people come in and thank us, for bringing something like this to the area. Just last week alone, we had 2 of our customers come in and just share how they've lost weight coming here and having our products. One guy was just like, go ahead. Anytime somebody comes in and talks about they lost weight, we ring our cowbell. To just, even if it's a pound, we celebrate it. It's encouraging, and it definitely is difficult. We had a guy come in and he was sharing how he was like 215 or 212, and he was like, I haven't seen this weight since high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like in his 50s. So it's just nice to know that we are making an impact. That these products are helping people and people are feeling better and, reaching goals that they haven't been able to reach. So I would say that's definitely rewarding.
And rewarding also, just to add on, is like to show people that fitness and working out and healthier lifestyle don't just have to be you just go to the gym and go home.
Right.
Walk on a treadmill, go home. Like us putting together this kickball tournament. That's outside activity. You know what I'm saying? You can go outside and play basketball. You can play tennis. You can go run around the park with the kids. It's just moving your body. So it's rewarding just to see, and there's people that want to be involved with it as well. So.
Okay, so next we're going to move on to the next topic, which is the importance of prioritizing health and wellness, which we've already touched on a lot because that's really the whole topic of this podcast in general. But I'm going to just start by asking you guys, what are some ways that people with a busy lifestyle, we talked about certain people coming in that, have different occupations or different walks of life, different ages, but busy people, busy athletes can find healthy alternatives or healthy foods without being so overwhelmed?
He likes to use this phrase, proper planning.
7 P's.
You ever heard of that?
I don't know.
Prior proper planning prevents poor pitch performance.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Basically, plan. Plan ahead. Yes. There's this one other quote that I remember hearing, like, if you don't plan to something, you plan to fail. Or
failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yes. So basically, I know, right? It's all the same thing.
Okay, so with all that being said, how can the food and the products you guys offer at Delish help people meet their fitness and health goals, whether that be protein goal, calorie goal, weight loss, or weight gain?
So our products can be used for any fitness goal. If you're looking to bulk up or gain weight, you can use our products. If you're looking to lose weight or stay toned, you can also use our products. They're very versatile. So apart from like having all the different minerals and the protein in there, our products they can be used fast and on the go. Our blenders, our shakes, you can shake it in a shaker cup. If you're one of those people that are like grab and go, you can put it in a shaker cup, shake it up, and you're getting all your vitamins, all your minerals, all your protein goals in your one shake that you're shaking in the car as you're driving to work. If you're fancy like me and like things extra, you can blend it up. I remember when I first started using the products, I had a little portable blender that I would carry in my backpack. So when I made it to work, because I like blended, I don't like that shake stuff. Some people love it to just shake it and go, but I had a little blender wherever I was with ice. Sometimes I had to stop at the gas station, grab some ice, and I just blended it up right there. And I also like the products because they're very versatile. Like the same products that I use to make a shake, I can use to make a protein waffle. That also has the same amount of protein, same amount of vitamins and minerals. I also use those to make protein donuts. So I can have donuts, I can have a waffle, I can have a shake, and I'm still able to, meet those goals. So that's one thing that I do love about our products.
And the pizza.
You like the pizza?
We make pizza too with the same product.
Same.
Yes, our teas give you energy. So, if you're someone that struggles with low energy and you're looking for increased energy, that's another thing that you can have is our teas. They give you mental alertness and you're just clear-minded. I had one guy come in and he sent his girlfriend and he was just like, there was a tea that it made me smarter. I had never heard anyone, describe it as, making us smarter, but that was definitely probably mental alertness.
Which tea do you think it was?
I don't remember, but it was a terrible tea. They all have the same, they have different flavors, but they all have the same benefits. They all have an energy supplement, and that's where that clean energy comes from. The alertness and everything comes from that.
Gotcha.
Had a guy one time to sip a tea in here, and he was like, "Man, I feel like I want to go for a run. I feel like I want to start cleaning up."
They do make you feel like that.
So
They're good.
It gives you a boost of energy and a good clean energy.
Yeah, no crashing afterwards. Low in sugar.
There's one time I drank a tea when we drove. That time I drove all the way down south home to Immokalee and then drove all the way back up.
Just to give you the energy.
Yeah, just the energy from driving.
I would do that every time if I could make the teas.
So
it's probably better than Take 5 or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Way better than Monsters, Red Bulls, all that good stuff. Because you don't have all that sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm a diabetic, and I share that all the time with people. Like, I'm a diabetic, and I have just about all our products. So if you're someone that is diabetic, our products are very, useful and helpful too. Won't raise your sugar, and you can still have fun with what you're eating. I had one lady when we first opened, she bought a protein waffle decked out with like whipped cream and fruits and stuff. And then she posted on social media and was like, y'all have to check out this place. I had this protein waffle and my sugar did not spike. It's not like going to somewhere like, I don't know, IHOP or something, and you're getting a waffle and drizzling with all this syrup and stuff. And then next thing you know, you're having highs. So it's good to hear customers tell us this. It's not like we're just selling a product, but to have customers come in and attest to the same things that we're saying, like that is a good feeling to know that we're not just saying this stuff. It actually works. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of your guys' favorite products that you sell? You can just name a few. It's hard for me to like even
bowls,
say.
Specialty shakes, and the terrible teas.
I love our protein coffee.
Oh, I didn't even know you guys sold
Yes,
coffee.
So we have protein coffee. We have like fraps. I remember one time I made one frap style, and I literally felt like I was at Starbucks. It was so good, and the best part was it didn't raise my sugar. Like my sugar was normal afterwards. I'm not like, I drink shakes. I don't drink them too often. I get brain freezes a lot.
Yeah.
So if I do have a shake, I like to pour it over ice, and it's almost like a thick iced coffee, which I just put him on recently. He's like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah.
So I would say my favorite product is our protein coffee and our teas. There are some days where I literally have to flip a coin to be like, do I want
Which
a
one
tea?
do I want?
Yeah, do I want a tea today or do I want a coffee? Or I'll fix a tea for someone. I'm like, oh, okay, I want this tea now. Like, I've been craving it.
Yeah.
So definitely the teas and coffee.
Yeah, I'm big on the acai bowl. Well, I'm big on the shakes. I have a shake every other morning.
The shakes are super cool too in their presentation. I'll post some pictures of them so y'all can see. But
so majority of the time I'll have a shake, acai bowl here and there, and I'm pretty good. So,
I'd like to say that my favorite is last time MJ made me a Snickers without peanut butter, and it just tastes like straight chocolate. It was so good.
Yes.
It was so good. So
yeah, we're working on our chocolate shakes. We're trying to figure out if Snickers is popular because it's the only chocolate shake, or is it really good?
Do like a poll or something. Yeah, but they have strawberry cheesecake.
Banana pudding is another flavor. We switch out our menus so often. Like we have Fiesta Week coming up, so we have some different shakes for that.
Yum.
We'll have 90s Week coming up in May. We just had a spring menu, so we just try to keep it fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, try to keep it fun. I don't think there's anywhere around here that switches their menu often, so we try to be different too than the other places around
Definitely
here.
is.
Yeah,
it's like a cool uniqueness. Like people want to come try. Ooh, that's different.
Right.
It doesn't have anything like this.
Yes.
That's probably also a good thing with you guys being in Valdosta. Like, I'm sure Tampa has a lot of really cool places that you have to compete with.
Yes, there are nutrition clubs like on every corner.
There's a lot of them.
Yes. So then when we moved up here, when we were looking, at the area, and we're just like, wow, there's no nutrition club in Hayhire. There's nothing healthy in Hayhire, period. So we're like, we know we'll do great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good target community. Yes. They probably do want some
It
structure.
was a little, when I was thinking about it, like nothing in South Georgia. When you think of South Georgia, you don't think healthy. Like,
yeah, you think.
So that was a little intimidating. Like, is anybody gonna like this stuff? Like, yes, we're the only healthy, but are they, so used to having all the fried stuff and deep fried and the sugar and stuff? Like, are people gonna gravitate to this?
Yeah.
And people definitely have. Yeah, everywhere you go, there's some healthy person somewhere looking for something, healthy. So we have people coming all the time like, oh my gosh, there's nothing healthy around here. Like, we've been looking for a place. So,
I mean, it's kind of what you said. Sometimes people just make decisions based off what they're used to from growing up. And if that's all the options you have, it's not necessarily that they wouldn't be open to eating healthy, but it's just not the most convenient thing or doesn't taste the best to them.
Right.
And this is like a whole different look. It's not, like you said, it's not just salads and bland food. It's chocolate shake.
Right.
Cheesecake. Yeah.
The good stuff.
So try to make it taste exactly how it's supposed to taste.
Like banana pudding.
Banana pudding. So make it, it's gonna make you feel a little better than what the normal was.
And it's not like one of those shakes where you can tell. Some protein shakes you can really tell is super chalky. Like, doesn't taste great.
Right.
Because of the protein. Growing up, that's how I always viewed protein shakes.
And she's big on consistency when it comes to like making them. So yeah, we have to get them down.
Right. You'll get the same thing every time.
Yeah, that's good. Because people definitely also, I'm sure, are big. I mean, I know a lot of people that are big about the texture of their foods.
Yeah.
So it tastes the same every time. Like, so that's everything.
Okay, so last I'm going to transition to just any advice for listeners and inspiration that they can kind of take away from you guys and from this podcast. So do you guys have any words of encouragement for people who are on a journey with wellness or fitness or an athletic journey, like athletes who are starting to take their nutrition more seriously?
I would say, like, it's all about how you feel. Not necessarily, numbers on a scale. Granted, we all have, some type of goals that we're trying to get to. But what I try to encourage our clients is don't focus so much on numbers, but how you feel. I remember when Mr. T transitioned to like eating healthier, he would always talk about how he has so much more energy and he feels better. And I think that's really what matters, is what you're doing to change how you feel on the inside and not necessarily what you look like on the outside. And then that will definitely, how you're feeling on the inside will definitely like radiate on your exterior. If I'm, have more increased energy, people can see that, versus when you're not eating the best or your nutrition isn't the best and you're probably like all sluggish or whatever side effects, foods have. I've read like going to bed eating certain things can cause you to have like nightmares and night terrors and stuff. Yeah. So some of the stuff you eat, like it plays a role in how you feel and stuff.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I would say definitely just focus on how you're feeling versus any numbers on a scale.
And I also think, kind of back to what we were talking about earlier, a lot of big changes happen first from within. And you have to start with yourself and you have to work it in with who you are.
Right.
What do you like? Not everyone likes the same food. Not everyone likes the same things. But if you try to just do stuff to look a certain way, like you said, or to impress people,
right,
and you're basing your worth on external things, then it won't last, and you'll look great and you still won't feel good about yourself, whether, and then on the other hand, if you treat yourself with love still when you're along your journey and you work it in with what you like and what you like to do, and you eat things that are still super delicious and fun, then I think, like you said, you're better at the end of the day. You radiate out to other people that same energy of you love yourself, you take care of yourself, you're in control of your nutrition, you value and you prioritize your health and your wellness.
Right.
Did you have anything to add to that?
I would also say give yourself grace. Like I remember I mentioned before, like when I first started my plant-based journey and I was still eating chicken wings and stuff at parties, and I felt like I was doing horrible.
It was like the guilt.
Right. And I was just like, and when I went to the doctor and got the good news, I was just like, oh, okay, I can, slip up every now and then and, still do good. I don't have to go full throttle, like 100% every day. Like there's some days when you're not going to be able to give 100%. So just give yourself some grace. And when you fall, just get back up. Like not every day is going to be perfect. None of us are perfect. You're going to fail. You're going to fall down and just get back up. I just try to have a whole week of plant-based, and by Wednesday, I think, or Thursday, like I didn't feel like cooking anything. So not necessarily tired. I just didn't feel like cooking anything. So I was just like, well, let me go get crispy crunchy. Like, and then that kind of just the rest of the week was just like, but now it's a new week. So I have another opportunity to do better. And that's my goal this week is go back to the plant-based.
And I mean, I think that's like an athlete, like, you can't go back and get last game or last practice. You have to move on.
Right.
You can't go in the past and, change.
Exactly.
Do the best with the moment that you have in the present and plan ahead for your next week. I'm going to be really disciplined with my workouts this week, even though last week I had this or this come up where I couldn't do exactly what I wanted to do, or I didn't have my best performance or this or that. So it's definitely advice that translates across
just
really anything.
Just give me some percentage per day.
Yeah.
Just give it, like it don't have to be 100% every day. Just give me some percentage.
I actually have a podcast about that. It's called the 85% rule, and it's a lot of it is about preparing to give that 100% when you need to, but also knowing the certain times and activities where you can be a little bit lighter on yourself, and how that's all kind of like worked in. It was more towards sports, but I thought it was
that can also bleed into other things.
And it kind of reminds me of the percentages, like the 80-20 rule that people say with eating in moderation, exercising, all that types of stuff. Okay, well, that wraps it up. Today on the episode, we learned about, first of all, the journey to Delish and all the great things that they're doing here at Delish, and kind of how the things that led them up to having this place here. And we also learned about nutrition, the importance of wellness, and how you can kind of incorporate that into your life, whoever you are listening to this podcast. And once again, I encourage anyone who is in the Valdosta area, driving to Atlanta on the highway, to stop by Hey Hyra. It's a great place to just stop by. I'm pretty sure you can order ahead, right?
Yeah, you can order ahead. We do curbside. We'll bring it out to you. You can order online. You can call.
Yes, and if you are wanting to, be sure to use the code GRACE22 because you'll get a percentage off your order.
Hey.
So definitely stop by if you guys want to or can. But once again, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast today and sharing your guys' journeys and advice and everything in between.
Yes, thank you for having us. This is fun.
And thank you everyone for listening to Live with Grace podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode.